Hey guys, this is MugenLord here, and I want to talk about Multiversus. I know it's been a while since I even mentioned anything about this game here on this channel, but we have gotten some, I guess you could say, disappointing news. It appears that Multiversus will be shutting down for now. But before we dive into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we're going to dive right into it. Now, when it comes to Multiversus, this is a very special case here. No one anticipated for this game to gain so many players, all at one time, especially more so for a fighting game. Fighting games don't really garner a lot of players all playing at one time. I mean, I believe that the player base for this game within the first month, I think, was almost like at 100,000 or more than any other fighting game could possibly ever get. And it showed good signs that people really enjoyed this game, but it also helps the fact is that the game was free to play. The free to play model, I believe, in my personal opinion, I think we need to see more of that when it comes to fighting games, because fighting games, in my personal opinion, is one hell of an investment. Fighting games, in compared to any other genre, is quite unique when it comes to dedicating your time to it, because there's a lot of practice, a lot of dedication to whether or not that you want to stay with this one particular type of fighting game. And then what happens is the game, if it's pretty much complex and the game doesn't give the player satisfaction, especially if they're constantly losing and they're playing against high level players, it pretty much drains that fun factor, and most people walk away from the game. So I mean, that's $60 to almost $70 wasted. But I believe when you make a fighting game, more specifically free to play, people can make that decision whether or not, hey, I really enjoyed the game, I enjoyed the cast, I enjoyed the options that they have here as far as cosmetics and other features. I would like to invest more into this, and it'll pretty much, I guess you say, coast players in, seamlessly, and they'll invest their time and, and their efforts into it. And I believe a perfect example is Dead or Alive 5 Final Round had like a free-to-play model, and of course we can't forget Killer Instincts for the Xbox One. That was a model that actually worked out pretty well, where they cycle some of the characters for the free-to-play model, and I think it pretty much works. And Multiversus pretty much proved that case. But the problem was the, I guess you could say, the quality. When it comes to free-to-play games, when it comes to live service games, you have to be able to have that quality and be able to keep up for the demand of the players, and you also got to constantly keep putting out content. And where they have fell short is the lack of content. And I believe the fact is that they didn't expect so many players to pretty much play this game and have this much fun with the game. And the game was pretty much an open beta, so it was an open beta for a pretty long time. And at one point, they were releasing characters at I guess you say at a healthy rate. And then after a while, I think after Marvin the Martian, I believe, after that, I think within 2 or maybe 3 months, they went radio silence as far as new characters are concerned. And then the biggest issue was the netcode, which they touted at the beginning that is going to have rollback of some sort, and that there is going to have seamless netcode, but that definitely wasn't the case. Rollback has definitely been an issue. Matchmaking has also been an issue too, where a lot of beginner players are getting paired up with fiends, like people who dedicate their time and the grind to actually get better at the game. So that kind of like turned people away as well. So what was the update about? The update, they pretty much mentioned that, hey, we appreciate your support, but they felt as though that they need to pull the game offline so they can get back to actually working on the game and actually improving on the game. And to me, in my personal opinion, I believe that's the best course of action, because when it comes to Multiversus, I think this is one of the best type of, I guess you say, crossovers that you can possibly come up with. This should have been a KO. This should have been a knockout punch. It's more broken than Smash Brothers itself when it comes to properties. Warner Brothers can pull DC Comics, Cartoon Network, even their live action movie properties and licenses. These guys can pretty much utilize everything. The sky's the limit. So this should have been a knockout punch. And to me, in my opinion, it would be a shame to actually watch something like this with so much potential to actually just die out. So I think, in my personal opinion, I think the best course of action is just to pull it offline. I don't think they'll be able to accomplish trying to fix the game and work out the game while the game is still, you know, operational in its open beta phase, because you're going to need, you know, manpower, and you're going to need resources, and you're going to be spreading the team thin trying to keep the game operational while trying to pretty much design and improve the game in a sense. So I think the best course of action is to do that and do a totally complete overhaul, complete reboot of the game to iron things out. So when is the next time you're going to see the game? Well, sorry to say, guys, this game won't reopen, or it won't officially launch into 2024. So we have a whole nother year, and they haven't even gave us a solid date. They only gave us the year. So we have a whole solid year before we be able to get our hands back on this game once again. And the funny part about it was, I was thinking about Multiversus, because I haven't played in a while. As a matter of fact, I only played it during like the first 2 weeks of launch, and then I had to get right back into my content creation and doing my other businesses that I had to do. So I haven't really had time to actually play it. But from what I played, I actually enjoyed it. I played it with my brother Keo Lancer, DX Strike. Then I played it with my homie Master Boris. I played with ton of other of you guys on YouTube. Actually, I actually live streamed it and played with you guys and had a good time. It was pretty fun. So the game definitely has potential, and I think that this is the best time to do it. So you have 90 days to have as much fun as you possibly can. And they also said, don't worry about your, you know, your season pass or the microtransactions that you spent on cosmetics and many other things. They are going to implement a system that will be able to carry over everything that you have purchased. But for the time being, everything you purchase right now is pretty much going to be offline. Like, you're going to be able to do anything about it. I think they said the only thing that's offline, I believe, is just the training mode. Everything else you won't be able to play. Single player features, everything else you won't be able to play while it's offline, which is also a downfall to me, in my personal opinion, with this online. Because to me, and I have to say this, I think they should have had a purchase option for physical, because I would love to have this game in my collection personally, and that's what I thought. But I think this is the only downfall to just being an always online type of game, because if the company shuts down or something happened in this case right now where they have to actually pull the plug for a bit to update the game, everything that you have purchased is locked within that. You can't do anything. Your money, everything that you purchase is just going to be sitting there, and you can't do anything about it. So I think that's the bummer about it. But as I said before, I think that these guys are making the right choice, the right decision. Pull it offline and actually sit down and actually fix the game, fix the hitboxes, fix the net code, you know, and this time have a whole slate of characters already in development and completed. So when it's time for the game to actually officially launch, you know, you guys can be able to trickle out the characters for each season, because you already have enough characters at launch. And I think also your free to play characters should be a wide variety. You know, I think you should have a character for each class, you know, available, so people can be able to try out those characters, you know, for those classes to find out, hey, I think I like this type of player or this type of character, and I like this type of playstyle for this class. So it gives more people a chance to understand and get an understanding of how the characters actually work, because I believe that there's a lot here as far as the competitive scene, and then as far as just having fun with the game. The characters are pretty much unique. They also have special moves, and there's a lot of different features, and especially with the whole team mechanic that they have, and also the class system. And I think there's a lot more, you know, here, especially for improvements to actually make this game quite successful. But that's pretty much my overall thoughts and what I think about this. I know it's sad to hear this, or it's disappointing to hear that the game will be shutting down for about a year before you're able to get your hands back on the game. But I really think that this is definitely a bold and really important move that they want to save this game. It would be a bummer if this game died, because there's so much potential here because of its legacy IPs. It would be a shame. But that's pretty much it. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think about Multiversus shutting down? Do you think this is the best course of action? What do you like to see improve when it comes to the game? And what characters would you love to see the next time this game launch in 2024? Definitely want to hear that. So make sure you hit that like button once again, because it definitely helps me out in the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. And this is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.